Nissan has been on a bit of a kick lately. Ha, you see what I did there? No, seriously, they remodeled the Kicks, the Armada, and now the Murano. And I'm here in Tennessee bundled up because, it doesn't get over 40 degrees right now out here. And I'm gonna take this on a test drive. I'm from Kelley, this is ridiculous. The Nissan Murano elegantly enters its 4th generation for the 2025 model year. This 2-row, 5-seater mid-sized SUV gets a whole new look on the outside with slim headlights up front, a V-motion grille that's created by the daytime running lights, optional 2-tone paint, large wheels, a light bar in the rear, and a hidden rear wiper which really cleans up the look. It also grows in size about 3 inches wider and 1.5 inches more ground clearance than the previous generation. There's also been a major overhaul on the inside with lots of new tech, but we'll get to that later. I've been a fan of the Murano design and I think this is handsome. It's unique, it's cool, it has nice wheels on it, and I really enjoyed this light element at nighttime too. Editor, can we insert a shot of that? Haha, didn't think I had that footage, huh? But I think it looks cool, and let me know what you think down in the comment section because I know you will anyway. The Murano drops its old V6 engine in favor of a 2-liter variable compression turbocharged 4-cylinder, pushing out 241 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, which is 20 more pound-feet than the outgoing model. That old CVT transmission has also been replaced with a 9-speed automatic transmission. Front-wheel drive comes standard and all-wheel drive is an option on the base model and standard on all other trims. I think that this VC turbo engine has plenty of pep, a little bit of turbo lag, but it does get you up to speed. I'm not in love with the noise though. When you're really hard on the accelerator, it's kind of noisy coming into the cabin, but the transmission shifts nice and smoothly and the brakes work just fine. They're predictable, they're progressive, and they can bring you to a stop nice and smoothly. And on top of that, there's a conveniently placed auto start stop button right here to cut off that function where the engine shuts off at a stoplight. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and press that right now. EPA estimated fuel economy for the Murano isn't available just yet, but Nissan is projecting around 23 miles per gallon in combined driving for both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive models, and can tow up to 1,500 pounds when properly equipped. The suspension for the Murano has stiffened all around to reduce body roll when cornering and now uses electric power steering for a faster steering ratio and less steering effort when stationary. The suspension is doing a great job at providing a nice, comfortable ride, and I'm actually surprised at how this thing handles. It is a bit higher than the last generation, but it goes into corners with a lot of confidence. There's not a lot of body roll. It feels nice and planted, and yeah, you can kind of have fun in the Murano. Just when you're laying on it, you gotta deal with that noise coming in. And the steering feels just fine. They moved away from hydraulic steering. It's still precise, it's direct, it's stable on center. And you also have drive modes that you can select from. You have standard, eco, and sport. Let's go into sport mode. And what that does is give you a little bit more weight on your steering. Your throttle mapping is a little different, so you can have some more spirited driving. It definitely holds the gears at a higher RPM a lot longer, so get a little bit more of that power on demand. And if you want to have even more fun, there are these available paddle shifters mounted on the steering wheel, so you can select your own gears. I really like the shape of the steering wheel. I like the flat bottom, and I just like this horizontal spoke. I think it looks classy and elegant. I don't like the gloss black touch functions on the steering wheel because they already show smudges and fingerprints and a little bit of dust. But I kind of like how this roll ball on the right side, it's angled at the same direction as my thumb at a diagonal orientation. That's kind of cool. But yeah, the gloss black, I'm not a big fan of. Moving inside, the new Murano gets some much needed updated tech. There's now a dual 12.3-inch display that houses the digital gauge cluster and infotainment screens, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, standard wireless phone charging, an available head-up display. There are lots of camera angles from the 3D around view monitor to get you in and out of a tight parking spot, and an invisible hood view which lets you know what you're rolling over. As far as the gauge cluster and infotainment screen setup, they're nice and clear. I like the little cowl over the gauge cluster to prevent a lot of glare from hitting the screen, but it's nice and simple, easy to work from the steering wheel. And the touchscreen, it's really intuitive, easy to work, easy to navigate. And you also have Google built-in available, but you do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto if you just want to use those systems as well. And to me, it looks good and it's very simple to work. And I want to add, there's a camera button under your gear selector right here, so it's easy to access your cameras. I think that's a really great placement for that button. The Nissan Murano is very comfortable to occupy as well. Nissan uses their zero-gravity seats that provide comfort for those long commutes with available heating, ventilation, and even massaging functions. And if you're wondering what this two-tone interior color is called, it's ivory caramel, or caramel, depending on where you're from. Nissan does a great job with their seats. These zero-gravity seats accommodate me just fine. I'm 6'4", I fit in perfectly fine, and because it's a really nice Goldilocks ride height, I can slide right in, and the seating is a great position. I have a nice view of the road ahead, and I can scoot this seat pretty far back on its tracks, but I'm pretty comfortable as it is right here. The second row hasn't been left out because Nissan also put zero-gravity seats in the rear as well. The front seats are now thinner, allowing for improved second row legroom, and it's accompanied by rear seat vents and USB ports. I like how the rear doors open up nice and wide just in case you got to get a car seat in here. And check this out, you got available rear sunshades. But back here, I fit just fine. I'm 6'4", I got plenty of headroom despite the panoramic roof. I got great leg room behind an average sized adult, and my feet slide under the seat. Now, if you're sitting in the middle seat, it's not too bad. It's a little hiked up and there's a small tunnel, but like I said, not too bad. And in here, the center armrest has a couple cup holders and a tray for your phone, and it's nice and squishy. But if you're sitting behind a taller adult like this is my ideal seating position. I'm 6'4", and you still have a little bit of leg room. Headroom is still good, and these seats don't recline, but you can still find yourself in a very comfortable position back here. When it's time to load up the back, open up the standard power liftgate to reveal 32.9 cubic feet of cargo room behind the second row. Fold the 60-40 split rear seats down using these nifty seat releases to reveal 63.5 cubic feet. Moving back inside, the cabin of the new Murano has an upscale minimalist design. The dash is finished with a unique Venetian-inspired, quote, Murano glass, and 64 ambient lighting options help to elevate the vibe. The fit and finish in here looks nice and upscale and premium, and that's what they're going for. You have some nice soft materials up here, and this dash element looks really cool. And you also have this wood panel style trim right here that houses the HVAC controls. I wish it was physical buttons. This does give you haptic feedback. It is capacitive touch, but sometimes you got to put a little bit more oomph into your inputs than I would rather care to do. It can be a little bit distracting, on top of having some of the controls for your seats embedded in the infotainment screen, but it's this small slit of a menu down below on the infotainment screen, which I'm pretty sure is easy to fix in an update. But if you have big fat fingers, kind of like me, on these big hands, then pressing the buttons can seem more of a chore. But yeah, I dig it. Lots of style, has practicality as well with the sunglasses compartment, yeah. And you also have this compartment under the center stack because there's an electronic shifter that kind of opens that up. Visibility is good going outward thanks to that sloping hood. And there's all types of safety features to make sure that you're that much more taken care of. All Muranos come with Safety Shield 360 driver assistance tech, which includes features like blind spot monitor, lane departure warning, rear automatic emergency braking, and Nissan's Pro Pilot Assist adaptive cruise control. If you're looking for the hands-free highway driving experience, sorry, but that's not available on the Murano just yet. The Murano has available ProPilot Assist 1.1, and it's really easy to activate. You just press the blue button on the left of the steering wheel and you set your speed, your distance, pretty much adaptive cruise control, but you got to keep your hands on the steering wheel. It's doing it really well around this right turn, and it's keeping me at a nice distance, at a nice speed. And now we're gonna try to come to a stop. And while we're coming to this stop, I want to note that this has capacitive touch on the steering wheel, so you don't have to torque the steering wheel to let the system know that you're paying attention. All you got to do is just lay your hands on it and just kind of keep cruising. And the cars are speeding up in front of me. It's not giving me a jerky movement. It's keeping up with the car, and yeah, ProPilot Assist works just fine. So the Murano is comfortable, it has a nice cool interior, spunky driving demeanor, and handles well in the corners, but now we talk about how much it costs. Pricing for the new Murano is quite simple since there are only 3 trims available, SV, SL, and Platinum, and these models don't offer any optional packages. A base front-wheel drive Murano SV starts at $41,860, and that price includes the destination charge. Move up to the Murano SL trim for $47,850 if you want additional features including the Google built-in system, 3D around view monitor, driver memory seat settings, and a panoramic sunroof. And for the most premium Murano that includes 21-inch wheels, massaging front seats, heated rear seats, and two-tone quilted leather seats, the Platinum trim starts at $50,990. If you're in the market for a sleek 2-row SUV like the Nissan Murano, or maybe a big brawny SUV like the Nissan Armada, or maybe even the competition, go on KBB.com and let Kelley Blue Book help you find a fair purchase price. KBB.com, click the link above for more details. And somebody find me some hot chocolate. Brr. Some competitors in the mid-size 2-row SUV category include Toyota's new Crown Signia, Honda Passport, Mazda CX-70, and the Chevy Blazer. Expect to see the new Murano in dealerships at the end of 2024. While everyone's going rugged, Nissan stays sleek with the Murano, and it has a great looking interior, it's comfortable, it's pretty fun to drive, it looks unique, and there's no more CVT. So if all of that sounds good to you, check one out for yourself. Now going back to Kelley.